Hiya lovelies, or welcome if you're new here, I'm Linz. So I am going to be making some applesauce today using my Instant Pot Mini. Now I like to do this at this time of year because I have a friend that has a fabulous cooking apple tree. This year it has been loaded. I tend to make it up in batches and then I freeze it so you can then add different bits to different stuff or apple pie fillings or things like that. So I don't know how many of you are going to be interested in this, but this is just the way I do it. I would really love if you have some recipes and stuff like that you can leave me down in the comments. That would be great. Just, because everybody has a different recipe for everything. So, it's always good to get some different sort of perspective. So let's get started before my apples completely turn orange. This is basically the equivalent to 6 large Bramley apples, so cooking apples. When I was peeling and chopping them up and stuff like that, I did have them in water with some lemon juice. So I am just going to be adding that to my Instant Pot Mini. In with that as well, I also have 125 mils. Now this is just plain water. The kettle was boiled, but it's cooled down a little bit now, but use hot water if you want. It will help the pressure come quicker. Yeah, there we go. How's that? I'm not going to be able to stop that flickering, unfortunately. Now, this again is preference. It's not pretty in the bowl. I have 50 grams of brown sugar and 50 grams of just normal white sugar. You might want to, depending on how tart and things you like your applesauce, is going to depend on kind of your sugar ratio. So some people don't add any to start with and then add it afterwards. So there's another thing you can do. I also have, I'm going to be adding some cinnamon. So I'm going to be adding 1 tablespoon for this quantity. I'm not going to stir anything together. I'm just going to let it do its thing. And also, it's optional. I have the smallest amount of bit of lemon juice in here just to use it up. I am going to put that in. But it is meant to stop. So I'd say there was about a teaspoon in that. Not anymore. It is meant to stop sort of like the browning of the apple, but I don't know whether that's really works. We're going to pop your sealing ring on the top and close over. Make sure your little valve here is set to sealing instead of venting. So that's very, very important. Now, if we can see, I am going to just press the pressure cook there and I am going to put that on for 5 minutes. Okay, I am just going to move it over. Not advisable to move your pressure cookers while they're on. Okay, I'm just saying that. But because this is at a stage where it hasn't started sort of like the sealing and the heating process, that's why I feel safe doing that. Now, after that 5 minutes that I've just set that on for, you need to completely leave it alone. Do not attempt to open that valve because otherwise you will have an apple explosion all over the kitchen. Trust me. How do I know this? Because it's happened and I wish that I had footage of that. It was a mess. So yeah, for this recipe especially, don't touch the sealing thing. Just leave it to do its thing. As soon as it's sort of dropped the valve naturally, then you can go ahead and open it. But it's just to be safe. So lovelies, I'm going to come back when that's done all that and it's dropped its pressure, and I'll show you how I continue with it, how I prepare it for the freezer, different bits and pieces. Of course, we're going to give it a taste test in case we need to adjust sort of things like sugar amounts and things, but it's really easy to adjust once it's kind of done its thing in there. So we'll be back. So our Instant Pot finished its cooking time and I've just literally heard the little valve drop. So we are going to, hold on, where am I? Have a look. So we've lapsed about 17 minutes. So that's how long it took to sort of depressurize. What you're going to see in here isn't going to look too pretty at the minute, but it will. So can we? Hopefully you can get a look in there. But basically, all that stuff now needs kind of mixing together. And it smells divine. So it's reduced down an awful amount, but still enough for me to get some pie filling and stuff like that, if we can see that there. Now, obviously this is going to be very, very hot at the moment. So if you've ever made applesauce before, you'll know. But we'll just leave that for a second. Now, out in front of me here, I have an old baking tray that used to go in the oven. So here, then I have a mixture of some silicone cupcake cases, and then I've recently got these. So these are meant for large ice cubes, I suppose. I'll link them down in the description if you want to know, but they're reinforced, if we can see that, so they're not just completely floppy. And I thought they would make great molds to put some applesauce into, pop into the freezer. But these here, I find if I do them about halfway full and then pop them into the freezer, then in about a day or so, I do take them out and put them into a Ziploc bag. That is your perfect wee portion there if you're having something like some sort of a pork dish where you like your applesauce with it. So we'll have to taste it first, but we'll see. Oh. That there is a perfect consistency of sweet, for me anyway. Everybody's taste is going to be different, of sweetness and that tart of the cooking apple. So I'm really, really happy with that. Just pop that over there. So I'm just going to bring this down and just give you a little bit of a demonstration, but that is basically it. That is really nice. So with the tray, I then pop some cases on. I want to give these ones a go too, so I'm going to do one of them. We'll see how we get on. But you're just going to take a ladle. I'm going to make a mess because sure, it's, you know yourself if you've been here before. And I am just going to ladle in just in around half of them cases. I already have some of this done in the freezer, so the one I have in the freezer is a slightly sweeter mix than this. So again, it is about just sort of going with it and seeing what you like. And when it's at this stage that it is at the moment, you can pop your Instant Pot on to the saute mode, and then you can basically sort of reduce it down as well. Like, as I said, that doesn't need blending in my opinion, but I suppose it will depend on, you could be, I don't know if you make this for babies, do you? I've not done that, so but I am really looking forward to testing out these new trays. I have washed them before anybody gets a bit panicky, but I think these are going to be, these wee moulds are going to be perfect for things like little portions of maybe bits of carrot puree or things like that. I don't know whether I'd necessarily have an ice cube that big. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, I'm only going to do 4 of them. I haven't got enough in the pot anyway to do the whole 6, so. Again, I'm just going to, that is why I like this one, because as you can see, if you've used these before, that is fairly solid. Hold on now, you just little bit more to get them a bit more even. Now, and these also come with a handy lid. So actually, I'm going to wait for that to cool down. Then I am going to pop the lid on. Everything's going to go in the freezer. And that is that. So lovelies, I will pop a picture and stuff like that of them coming out of the freezer or something at the end of the video, I'd say. But that is a really simple, quick, easy way of making your own applesauce, whether you're going to be using it to put with your pork or some apple pies or something along them lines. So yeah, I'm delighted with that, and I shall, oh, let me know, shall I say, down in the comments if you're going to make this. If you already make this, as I said, it's a really handy one just to have them little tiny sort of pucks in the freezer that you can just whip out and they're there. If you can water can, we're talking a whole different story there. I'd love to learn if anybody would like to give me some tips. But anyway, I rabbled on again so much. I hope that you are all keeping well. I want to say a big thank you, especially if you've made it this far, for spending time with me in the kitchen. And as always, lovelies, take care, happy cooking, and I shall see you all in the next one. Bye for now.